Hello guys, in the previous video we have seen how to create your database, how to create tables, and how to create the schema. We want to do the same, but this time by using command lines. Then after that we will see how we can create keys, how we can create also relationship between tables. So for now, in addition to this employees, I want now to create a new database. Employees all the time I will use GUI with it, and the new database which I am going to create now is the one which I will use command lines for it. So for the database we can access to file and to new query with current connection. And now we can deploy our own commands. So the command which I want to create it or to deploy it now, let us do this command, create database, and the database I will call it staff. Then usually after the command we use to run a command go, and then we execute. So now it tells me command completed successfully. If I access to database now, right click, refresh. As you see now I have a new database which is a staff. Now I want to use this staff database. So in that case, just to get focus on it, to make sure is the one which is going to be used, then the next command I need to run now is use staff, the database, and also you need to call with go. And delete the command to create a staff because already been created. Just use the staff go, execute, and now it tells you the command completed successfully. The next step is to create now the schema. So I want two schema for two instructors I have, Mani and Dante, and that's why we'll start by the creation of schema Mani and then we create schema Dante. So first we start with schema Mani and here we have go, and then another create for another schema which is for Dante, and also here we have this go. Use staff, we need to delete it, we don't need it. We already concentrate now on the staff, and in staff if I check now in tables, currently we don't have any tables, and in security if we access to schema we don't have currently either Mani or Dante. Let us run and execute the command. Command completed successfully. For the staff right click, refresh. And now in security access to schema expanded, and now as you see here we have both Mani and Dante. After that now you are free to create your tables. Let us give it a try also. So now to create a table you need first to delete these commands. We are not going to create a schema anymore. Now I have two schema, one is for Dante and the other one is for Mani. So if I want to create a table now under the schema which is Dante, I can do it like this, create table. This is the command, and the schema is Dante, and the name of the table I will call it info, the start of the table and then the end of the table and semicolon. And inside it now you need to define the attributes, and I mean by the attributes the columns. So the first column I will call it ID, the type of it is integer. And now if I want to make this ID which is integer as a primary key, then this is the right time to type it's a primary key. This is how you make it as a primary key by using command lines. Here we don't have semicolon, sorry, we need to put comma. And then for the other attributes or other column name, and I will configure it as a varchar, and usually the varchar is 50. This time let us make it, just to change it, 255 characters. And if I want to make it not null, then I need to type in here not null. Of course, if I want now to add the third column, I need to put this comma again and then type the attributes of the third one. Otherwise I'll just make it like this. And also I need to create now another table. So let us copy this one. It is similar, but in addition to table of Dante, we need to create another table which is for Mani. So create Mani.info. It might show you sometimes like there is an error here. If you just point it with your mouse, it tells you the specified schema name Mani either does not exist or you don't have permission to use it. But sometimes these kind of errors, they are not true errors. Let us check. If I run now execute, as you see command completed successfully. Now if I check my tables, currently I cannot see anything in the tables. Let us refresh them, right click and refresh. And here as you see we have now Dante and Mani. If I access to database diagram now, of course I want to initialize it. Right click new database diagram. If I add both tables now, close. As you see currently, of course, there is no relationship, and as you see the ID is a primary key. While if I check the GUI table, which we have it, let us jump back to employees into database diagram. Now if I want to create a new database diagram, add info doctor info employee, both of them. See in here, they are even not a primary key yet. Doctor ID is not a primary key, and for employee, SSN is not a primary key. If I want to make a primary key by using GUI, I would right click in here and select set as a primary key. Now Doctor ID is a primary key, and SSN here, if I right click and select also set as a primary key, now it becomes a primary key. So this is how we can use GUI, or we use the command line to create table, create a schema before that on a database, and also to set a primary key and also to set null value. If I access to data info now, if I right click and access to edit rows, this is what I have: ID number 1 and value. Here I'll assume this is table is for Dante students. So the first student name is Peter, second student name is Sarah, and so on. This is how you can fix it. And same thing with Mani. If I right click and select edit, here again the first student for Mani is Manda, and second student is, and so on. So by this now we figure out how to use GUI and command lines up to this level. And the good thing about command lines is it will be easy to delete the entire database and redo it, because just run the commands and everything to be in there, except of course for the data. Currently the commands which we run, we didn't run any command to feed with the data. That we will do it also later. But for now, let us see if I want to delete my database, which is staff, if that is possible, and then how can I use just again some commands and I will just get it within few seconds. I will close currently those tables, I don't need them. The diagram, I don't need it, so also we close it for the diagrams. I will keep now just this screen for the commands. And now simply I will access to staff, and in staff I want to delete it. So I would right click and select delete. Now here it tells me if you want to delete. Okay, let's see. I expect to have an error now, and the reason because the staff database is in use, and when it is in use you won't be able to delete it. Just waiting a bit, and as you see in here we won't able to delete it. So for now we are going to stop in this video. In the next video we will see how can I delete this database using a safe technique, and then how to create it again by using command lines. Thanks for watching.